Obviously tough game. Got to give Stephen F. Austin full credit for the win. They played great. I felt the technical foul changed some momentum for us, that's for sure. We're ready to go up 5, and instead of being up 5, we're up 3. So that changed some momentum for us there. But 27 points off of turnovers and second chance points that they got. That's a stat that hurts us. And really, obviously we've got to have in the whole season hinges on us finding point guard play. We've got to find someone to get the job done for us from the point guard spot. I've been spoiled through my time here with whether it's Willie Kemp or Elliott Williams or Joe Jackson or Chris Crawford or Michael Dixon. Those guys, you could get it going. And we just right now we're just young. Those Pookie Powell, Markelle Crawford are extremely young, so it's going to be some time for them. And obviously Kedron, is just getting in within sync. So that being said, I understand people are upset, disappointed, ugly game. We're sitting here 2-3. Any criticism or arrows should not go to any of our players. It should be directed, all at me. But I do believe we will right the ship. There's time to do it. There's a lot of basketball to be played, and we just got to get better. We got to get on a run. We got to get on a run and just continue to get better, and we will. So I believe in this group. I love coaching this group. It's going to be a process, and there's going to be some highs and some lows, and like I've said before, hopefully there's more highs. But again, any responsibility falls on my shoulders. Any criticism does not deserve to go to the players; it deserves to go to me.
Coach, Nick said he thought that you guys didn't have the effort there, especially with the second chance baskets. Is that what you saw as well?
Yeah, we need Nick to play better too. I mean, Nick's. We got to have Nick playing better. He hasn't played real well this season so far. And again, that's not a shot at Nick at all because, Nick's a guy that's a key guy for us. It's a key guy for us. We need him to be better. And he's got to play better, and he knows that. I mean, Nick's a guy that understands that, and we need Nick to play better. Our team will be better when Nick's playing better too. That's a key part for us, and he will play better. It was just. I didn't have any issue with our effort. It's our turnovers. It's us being able to get into an offense. It's us being able to, we run out of a timeout, set up a press break, and we just say, do not, we set it to where they're supposed to catch the ball. He catches exactly the opposite place where he was supposed to catch it, and then we get a turnover. And again, it's just, it wasn't anything being defiant or that thing. He just that's part of being, youth, not have playing in so long, for guys. And so through time, we will get there. It's not going to be an overnight process, as I've said many times. We've got to just go. I think for our season hinges on that point guard play.
What can this team hang its hat on right now? I mean, obviously defense was a thing that.
Yeah, we were good defensively, and then what hurt us was those second chance points. That really got us. They got some second chance points baskets. But Jason, those those plays where we're not scoring and those droughts and we're missing free throws and/or we're missing some short shots, I think that takes the energy. It just kind of sucks the life out of you. It's demoralizing. I mean, we have 27 and 25 in our two halves, and so those things, you end up with 52 total points. Look, this is just new territory for us. It's a new territory for me. I mean, I'm used to just the amount of assists has been so big for me, and you got last season, third in the country in assists. The year before, third in the country in assist. Year before that, we were 59% of our field goals assisted. Year before that, like 58. Year before that, 60. So. This is just, that's why I'm going on that we got to get a steady point guard play, and I've got to evaluate. We got to watch the game tape, evaluate everything, and we just got to find the right combination, and we will find the right combination. So, but no need. The Tiger Nation should be disappointed and be upset, but they should be upset and disappointed at me, not the players, because we're going to get better. I do believe we're going to get better. I believe in this team 100%. We got to keep a great attitude. I told the guys, you can't sulk or feel sorry. A lot of basketball to be played, and we got a lot of, we don't have a lot of time, but we've got to have a sense of urgency to turn this thing around, and we will turn it around. But anyone to be upset needs to, they should be upset at me, and I deserve any criticism.
Coach, they got you guys on the on the glass too, 37-33. You had
Yep.
a height advantage. What did you see on the rebounding, or how did that happen?
They a couple of our guys on the perimeter did not do a good job of boxing out. They got us on that, and I thought early the zone worked well. Then they started hitting some threes against the zone. They got a couple offensive rebounds when we stopped them against the zone. That hurt us. That one time right over that offensive rebound, the second half they're late right over Keegan. We had a couple where walk-up went by Nick, on the rebound areas. So just some little things there.
Coach, you talked about the second chance points, the easy looks that they got. How were they able to get those?
Yeah, I mean, we had a couple breakdowns, but I really do believe, and not to sound like a broken record, but the number one issue with us is offense. Offense. We've got to be able to score the ball. We've got to have point guard play. We've got to get the job done. I mean, and I'm, not hiding anything with Keegan, because, look, I brought Keegan in here to be a great player for us. I mean, that's why I didn't bring him in here for any other reason. So I'm hoping in this short amount of time he's ready to get going. And that's not a shot at anything, because I think Markel's going to be very good, and I think Pookie's going to be very good. It's just Keegan was an all-SEC guard, and when we went to Canada and through our practices, I recognized we had some deficiencies in some areas, so I felt, okay, we needed to correct it. He was an available guard, and my standard for him is that he's going to an all-SEC type of player. He has not played up to that ability, and we need him to play at that ability. And so I'm hoping here in time, I mean, I thought he had a better second half, or he played well against Indiana State. I thought he got tired on some things, but he did have 3 assists. I'm hoping he can turn the corner so he can be the guard that we recruited him to be.
Are the names going back on the jerseys on Saturday?
Yeah, the names are going back on the jersey on Saturday. My intent for that, like I said, was because we had 10 new guys. I felt to understand playing for Memphis Tigers. That was more important to play for the Tigers instead of anything on the name of the back. But a lot of fans obviously didn't like that. And not that I listened to everything from the fans, but this is I respect the fans, and I respect some of the things, and I wanted to do right by them, and that was a little thing to give back. So wanted to make sure we put if I could have done it over again, obviously I wouldn't. I would have just kept the names on the back. The intent was more about playing for the Memphis Tigers, but obviously a lot of fans, they want to identify with the kids, and especially with many new guys seeing, having the names on the back. So we'll put them on Saturday, starting on Saturday.
Josh, all the players said, and obviously talking about the fans, they said they saw the fans getting up and leaving toward the end of the game. They saw the empty seats before the game even started. So you said on Monday, or when we talked to you, really asked the fans to come out and support this. How difficult is that when you see that both at the beginning?
Well, look, that's nothing on the fans. I mean, the fans I believe we got the best fans in the country. Fans, we're not playing well right now, and we need to play better. So. And that's my thing, is any fan they should be upset, and I want them to be upset. If they weren't upset, then that means they wouldn't care about the program, and this is their program. So they should be upset, and they should be upset at me. And if we're playing better, they're going to come. We're not playing well right now, so we've got to play better. It's not the fans' job to bring us energy. It's our job to bring them energy. So, and we got to play better. That's just the bottom line.
Josh, do you have faith that the perimeter shooting? Do you think you have the shooters on this team to get it done?
Well, Eli, we had been shooting well up to this game. If you look at our percentages wise from 3-point range, I mean, we were shooting better. We weren't as poor as I thought we might have been early on. So, but this game we did not shoot well. You got to make some threes. I've always said that you got to make some threes. But Eli, to go back, it's just we've got to be able to run an offense, and you've got to have a point guard to do that. And Look, I mean, Grant was there, Jason was there with us in Canada, and I'm just telling you, through the practices, and again, I think Markel and Pookie are going to be good, but they hadn't played. I mean, Pookie was played at the rec center last year. We weren't, because of the rules, I wasn't allowed to work with him. He wasn't allowed to be at practice, so he played at the rec center. And Markel, hadn't played in the game in 2 years. That's why we recruited. That's why we got Kedron. So we recruited him. I brought him in here to be an all-SEC type of guard. That's what he was. And he's got to be better. And I think that's a key. We can look at everything else for our offense. We've got to be able to score the ball. We've got to get into an offense. But it's very hard right now because we're just erratic at the point guard play. And I'm not blaming those guys because, again, I go back to any responsibility goes on me because that's on me. And why haven't we found that out yet to this point? We've got to find someone. So I take full responsibility, but it's gonna come in time.
You mentioned Kedron had the 3 assists, but he didn't even take a shot tonight. Was that him being kind of passive, or have you kind of given him a directive? I don't want you shooting much.
Well, no. I mean, I wanted to be confident and aggressive. I just think he's not a blow by you type of guard. I mean, he's a bigger guard. He's not blazing speed type of guard. But he, more than him taking shots, we need somebody. We need him to orchestrate our offense, to run our offense, to get us in things, to keep guys poised and calm. Obviously there's a timeout or two where he had mental lapses and didn't remember some things and so but again, that's just something that he's got to be better on. But all of our guys got to be better on, but especially him.
And on the point guards, and they are young, but great point guards have great vision. How much of that do you think is kind of either you have it or you don't? And how much of it do you think can improve with kind of like that?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, there's a lot of things you either have or you don't, and that's one of them. But I just think we've had a lot of lack of game experience from that position. That's for sure. A lot of lack of game experience. But also with that is not to leave the point guard spot, but we need Nick to play better too. I mean, we need Nick to play better. That's important for us. He has not played well to the level of our standard for him to this point. And again, he's a wonderful young man. He plays his butt off. We got to get him playing better.
He was one of your best players in Canada. I mean, led the team in scoring, rebounding. Are you surprised that he's gotten off to this start?
I'm very much surprised. Very much surprised. And part of it he's got to work through it. Look, it's a different role for him, Austin and Shaq. Those guys, last year and for Shaq for 2 years, I mean, they just could be just role guys. I mean, they were not the option 1, option 2. I mean, we rolled with those other guys. And this year their role has totally changed. Those 3 guys, Austin, Shaq, and Nick. Now where Nick's role last year was come in and just give us energy buckets. Now the role is you got to produce you got to be a major player. Same thing with Austin, same thing with Shaq, and that has changed for those 3 guys. Their roles has changed.
Not to beat the point guard position to death,
Yeah.
but for fans that are out there, they'll say, well, you've been practicing for 2 months, we're 5 games in, it's
Yeah.
not happening. Why do you say, what gives you the confidence to say it's going to happen? I mean, do you really have faith that they will get it figured out by the end of this year? Should fans have that faith?
Yes, yes, Eli. I do. They should, because I do think they're going to get better, and I think Kedron's, going to be better. I mean, he has to be better. I mean, if he ends up being not to who we brought him in here for, I mean, that could be an issue. But I believe he's going to get to where he's got to, where he was at that all SEC level. But again, I'm an internal optimist. I'm going to look at the glasses overflowing, and I believe in our guys, and I believe we're going to get the thing moved in the right direction. We are playing a tough schedule, but we got to prepare. Due to a tough schedule, we got to utilize that to help us when we get to league play.
Josh, you said you want Nick to become a major player for you. What's your ideal role for him in the offense?
Nick, I've got Nick at the 3. He's starting at the 3 spot, and he's got to be. We've sat and talked some different things with his role, but he's also got to understand teams are going to scout him. They're going to sit on his left hand, and obviously he's really good to his left. We got some different actions going for him to go to his left, but teams are sitting on it, so he's got to be able. He can't be one-dimensional and just be a left going to his left. He's got to be able to do some other things, and that's where my thing with him is to get his confidence going. He's got to make those effort plays that he made last year to get himself that motor, that thing going, whatever, that revved up, you know, and he's just got to make some of those plays that he did last year. I think that will get his confidence going to where we need him to be.
You got him at the 3 this year. Maybe you thought about moving him back to the 4?
He's played at the. I mean, I started him at the 3, but he's been at the 4. But you're going with, you're starting with Shaq, Austin, and Nick. You're 3 guys that you're trying to, that you're winning the year, putting a lot of mileage, into them. So.
Josh, you mentioned the point guard. How much hope is there? You told us at the beginning of the year about Cunningham and how excited you were about the game that he brings, that guy who can take you off the dribble and penetrate. You get him back in a week and a half or so. He's been practicing. How much hope should there be in him kind of adding a new element to that position?
Well, he's a different guard than what we have. He's got great speed. He's our fastest guard, but he hasn't played in this. It's going to be I'm not putting the saying he's a savior. So he's going to have to earn it when we see him on the game floor and go from there. So that will just be through time. Okay, thanks everybody.